IELTS speaking test, home and accommodation. Do you live in a house or an apartment?
Currently I'm living in Thailand, so we do not really have a concept of apartment. It's basically a condo. Yeah, but if you say I'll say it's closer to apartment.
What do you like most about your home?
Uh, it depends where we're talking about it. If it's because I'm a Korean, but I'm living in Thailand. However, first of all, I'm totally living in a different environment because Bangkok in Thailand, most of the condos they are really kind of small and trying to fit everything in it. However, when I'm in my Korea, I'm living in a flat where it has many rooms and kind of bigger rooms. So actually kind of feel like more free and less kind of squeezed when I'm living in Korea than in Thailand.
Which part of your home do you spend the most time in?
I mostly spend my time in both Korea and home in Thailand is I would say in the my own room because it has everything like I have my PC to work on, bed to rest on, and a couch to take a rest.
Do you prefer living in a house or an apartment? Why?
For me personally, I really enjoy living in a house because first of all, I'm a person that who really likes to socialize and do the social gatherings. And if I'm living in a condo, it's kind of how's it? It's not unethical to like invite many people over and spend the night because it will kind of like disturb the other people in the condo. However, if I'm living in my own house, I can actually invite many people over. And secondly, I'm a huge fan of barbecue. So if I'm living in a house, I can actually just hold up a barbecue party or just cook for myself easily. However, it's kind of restricted in the condo or a flat.
Have you ever thought about moving to another place in the future?
Well, typically, I do not think about moving into other places because, first of all, I grew up mostly in Thailand. So, and also I'm a person who really enjoys the city life as well. So if I move outside of the Bangkok, I think I'll be kind of lost and will feel kind of bored if I move to more like rural areas. And also, if I'm a person that who prefers to stay where I always stay because I do not really have a confidence on adapting onto a newer place, especially in Thailand.
Okay, now I'm going to send you a cue card and I would like you to talk about that topic for 1 or 2 minutes. Don't worry if I stop here. Describe your ideal home. You should say where it would be located, what it would look like, and okay, what special features it would have, and explain why this home would be perfect for you. You have 1 minute for preparation. Okay. Can you start speaking now, please?
First of all, when it comes to home, I think for me, I have to personally decide which country is home to me, because as mentioned earlier, I'm a South Korean, but I'm living in Thailand, and I grew up in Thailand as well. So if I have to choose one country that makes me feel like I'm actually home, it will be Thailand, because I'm more familiar with the culture and the language and living style in Thailand more than Korea. And home for me is all about the atmosphere. So home should actually feel like you can do anything that you want to do. So basically, home, I'm totally fine of the structure or how small or how big it is, but I just kind of need things that could secure my life. For example, like a bed for my rest, for my living quality, and a proper security for my, of course, for the security as well. And lastly will be the access onto the transportation and also a food, because those four major topics that I just mentioned is the most important part of my life. So other than that, I do not really, it doesn't really matter for me to like how big or how small the place is. However, if I would prefer to be located in the city, as because as mentioned, I am a person who really enjoys city. And if it's in a city and with the cozy with all those four topics that I mentioned, then I would say that would be my perfect home, in my opinion.
Right. Interesting. Now, part 3. How have housing styles changed in your country over the years?
Well, I think in Thailand, there's a really big difference between in Thailand and Korean structure. In Thailand, they're trying to squeeze everything in a small place. For example, let's say the room size is around, like, let's say 30 meters square for both in Korea. In Korea, even though they put a bed in there and they put like a small curtains, we don't call it a one room or studio. We just call it a office style, basically a meaning of office style plus with a hotel. So it's basically just place for you to sleep. However, in Thailand, they're trying to brand it into kind of luxury places. So even though it's really small and packed, they're trying to advertise it. It's separated into bedroom and living room as well. However, if you're thinking of common between two countries, is that they are branding their flats or condos into a luxury style. Because previously in Thailand and condo, they just use a really simple name in Korea as well, in Thailand as well. However, these days they are trying to use like very premium words or like some kind of fancy English words to make it look more luxury and create value for their condos and apartments.
What factors influence people when choosing where to live?
Uh, in my opinion, I think first of all is the price, of course, because of course, yes, the higher the price, it gets your life gets better with the rooms. However, many people are trying to find a acceptable condo instead of a more higher price. And additionally, I'll say how close it is to the transport and also to the city, because many people are living in a rural area. However, they are still trying to find a place that is kind of closer to, or a closer or a more convenient way to travel to the city as well. And also, lastly, will be the security, because security is the most important part when it comes to the living.
Do you think living in the city is better than living in the countryside?
For my own perspective, I do prefer living in a city than the countryside, because yes, it is true the countryside is more peaceful and it's more, how to say, environmentally cleaner than a city. However, I'm a person that who feels like, oh, I'm actually home, or like feel more live when it's when I'm located into the busy life. Also because city is full, it's crowded with people. And then at the daytime, when you just open the window, you can just see the cars and people walking around constantly. And lastly, city is way more convenient to travel because there are a lot of transportation located, and also it's cheaper for to travel.
How does housing affect people's quality of life?
I think housing affects quality of life because first of all, let's say if you're having a very loud neighbor, right? So if you're living in a house that's sound insulation is not that bad, of course you'll be stressed every day. However, if you're living in a place with a proper soundproof or a, let's say, insulation place, you will stay kind of cold, comfy place with a quiet place. And also you can also like open a music that you like in a kind of high volume without have to worry about other neighbors hearing about it. So I think housing's quality matters all about the quality of living.
Okay. Should governments provide affordable housing for everyone?
In my opinion, yes, because first of all, housing is where they can actually take a rest and feel secure. Right now, because the Korea many years ago, the housings were not this expensive. However, because the government's changes and the way the inflation happens, the housing price rises really rapidly. So people are going for it. So people are giving up their life quality just to own a house, which is a really sad fact. So I do believe the government should actually do something or like support their people when it comes to housing, because people should have a better quality of life, which can actually help to improve the country, in my opinion.
How might homes in the future be different from those today?
Actually, my house will not be different from those today's, because as mentioned, the housings are becoming more luxury and more trying to pack everything in it. Me as a person that who just likes a home that has everything in it is perfect for me, because I do not have to buy or spend more money on the groceries or the housing equipments. So it will not that I think that will be a perfect for me if there's no improvement.
Do you think that the design of a house can affect people's well-being?
Yes, definitely. Of course, the design. First of all, like talking about the exterior design, it also matters, because if it looks really old and it looks like it's just going to collapse, of course, people will feel insecure when they're living in it. And if you're living in a place that are really, like I said, freshly repainted or renovated, they'll of course definitely feel like it's better place to live in. Especially in Thailand, there was an earthquake and you see all these cracks in the wall. Many people were living in a they were having a very suffering life, very scared life. However, after getting it fixed or moving to a renovated condo, of course, they do not have to worry about those cracks or like feeling of the building might collapse in the future because of a physical effects and the one that you're seeing.
Okay, that's the end of the IELTS speaking test.